Well, thank you so much. I hope I can live up to that introduction. It's wonderful to be with you this afternoon. I'm especially happy to address you because of the theme that you have this year, which is inspired and connected. So I'm going to start with the connected part first because we've been working a number of years to have a really strong partnership with the Washoe County School District. Because if we're not connected to you, then our students get lost in that divide between finishing high school and that first approach to getting ready to be in the workforce. So we've done a number of things over the years, Dana, haven't we? A number of things that we're kind of proud of. We tried one thing that's ending this year, but it was a really focused technical program for those most at-risk students. And we took a small group of students, and they had to be students that we identified in the 12th grade, at-risk students, severely at risk. We had to wrap lots of services around them. And as soon as they finished their credits, and these were students who were like one or two credit deficient in one or two areas, and they had to finish in their senior year, and then we put them into a one-year certificate program. We had pretty good results with that. High-cost program, but very good results with it, and lots of donor participation, so we're happy about that. Right now, we're exploring a technical track. The school district is looking at a technical track to TMCC High School. TMCC High School has a couple hundred students. They're on the campus at TMCC, but they're really focused towards transfer, and now we want to take a look at what can we do with a technical track, an expansion to TMCC High School. So in 11th grade, the students will be in college pursuing what they can for completion of their high school, so they end with a high school diploma plus a certification and or a degree. That would be the goal. This year we started the Jump Start program, which is a dual credit program that started at WNC and now is at TMCC. And that's to allow students to get credit for courses that they take at the college that will then count for their credit at completion high school for their diploma. We also have something called College and Career Ready, which is a relationship or partnership between TMCC, UNR, and the school district. And that uses a pathway to determine, a different pathway to determine in the 11th grade where students should be, what their focus should be in the 12th grade so that they can be ready for either the university or the community college. And then we also have another alternate pathway for students to complete requirements for the first level of English and math. So these are all initiatives that we've really been working on quite diligently. So those are the connections. And now for what is inspirational, and that is the resurgence of career and technical education. And that day has come. So where has it been for oh so many years? So while you've all been working diligently in the field, nationally our efforts have been shrinking. And why we have not realized the relevance, especially for community college students, who most often want a quick entry into workforce, I don't know. But I've often wondered why we have kind of a lopsided way of presenting our curriculum. For many decades, I've watched community colleges operate in terms of curriculum as if we were only the first 2 years to a baccalaureate program. No, that's true. We do provide first 2 years, the undergraduate or lower division courses that will lead students to a 4-year experience, but that's only one portion of what we do. So nationally, about 25% of all community college students are actually bound for a 4-year experience. Majority of our students come because they want a job. They want to get into the workforce quickly. They want a skill. And so our mission is a multiple one. So it's for lifelong learning and community education. It's for transfer. And it's for the casual course taker that wants to come in and take just one course. And of course for technical and career education. But our emphasis over the many years has really been on the transfer portion of what we do. So that's where we spend our time, our focus, our resources, mostly on transfer programs and not really looking at what the future should be or actually what our balance should be. And we've been moving toward that at TMCC over the last couple of years. But across the nation, K-12 has been following suit, and many technical career track programs have been eliminated. But today, we have a different example. This is a prime example of not going into the past and eliminating career tech programs. This facility is. Now, if you look across the street, you're going to see that dated technical site over there. That one over there? That's TMCC. That's our past. But what you're going to begin to see is our future. And our future is going to look very different. So we're using 2 phases to create what will be our future in technical education at TMCC. We have funded phase 1, and that means that you're going to start to see a modernization of that technical facility. And don't our students deserve that? Don't they deserve to go to one wonderful facility to another wonderful facility? And so that's going to begin to emerge. So IGT, Applied Technology Center, will grow into what it ought to be, a modern facility that has expanded space. And we want to have the opportunity for high school students to come and have a dual enrollment experience, to have a focus on career certifications, diploma, and earn a degree as well, just as we do with TMCC High School. Now, research that has been completed over the past few years by the National Governors Association has determined that in the nation today we have a huge mid-skills gap, meaning that we do not have enough people trained technically, and that gap is approaching a crisis level. So there are going to be more positions in the next 2 decades for those individuals that have high school, they must have a high school diploma, and some post-secondary education. And that can be a certification, and there are going to be more of those certification jobs available, 2-year degree jobs available, according to this research, than there are going to be jobs for those with 4-year degrees and post-baccalaureate degrees. Joe Fuller from the Harvard Business School goes a little bit further, and he says we don't need the AA degree to fill the mid-skills jobs. We don't need that anymore. We need industry certifications. That's what we need. So a recent example of that is our CNC program, which is a machining type program, but it's less than machining level with the full degree. It's a 16-week program. It's what the Manufacturing Association said, this is what we need. We don't know all the rest of it. Don't give it to us. Just give us 16 weeks. This is the skill we want. We'll put our, the students that you train into internships immediately, and we'll hire them at the end of the 16 weeks. And that's worked pretty well for us. There are lots more certifications like that the college has been very actively pursuing. So we're going to have a lot more short term, but it has to be an industry recognized certification where the student can take that certification and it can be meaningful when they're going for a job interview. So Harvard Business School, Joe Fuller says, no, we don't need that degree program so much anymore. We need the skill set. So in a couple of states, Oklahoma, Colorado, Alabama, Kentucky, and Utah, these are all states where the governors have said, wait a minute, we're going to focus on those skills gaps. And you know where we're going to go? We're going to go to our K-12 partners sitting at the table. We're going to have the community college partners, and together we're going to figure out what are the skills gaps that we need to fill. And we're going to focus on those particular skill gaps. And we're really seeing it a bit today because our governor, in his State of the State, did focus on much the same kind of priorities for K-12. So awareness today has been helped, I think, by Tesla. I'm interviewing right now vice president candidates, and everybody knows about Tesla. No matter where in the country they're coming from, they know. And so that's put a new focus or level of excitement on career and technical education that's not been there before. So in the past, we really tried to find students and had low enrollment. Today, in one of our programs, we have a waiting list of 300. That hasn't happened in a decade. So there's a new resurgence of energy and excitement about career and technical education. So CTE is hot and exciting now. the way it always should have been. Just recently I was talking to our director of IT, and he was telling me that he built a retaining wall over the weekend. I said, how did you do that? How did you know how to do that? Well, he was trained in another country, born in another country, and that was a mandate that every student would have some technical aptitude. So he can now build things in his house, even though that's far removed from what he does as his professional career. So you're part of, I think, a very exciting future. So please stay excited and passionate about what you do. And we in administration will do the best that we can to keep us connected, K-12 to TMCC. So today we're not only modernizing our facility across the street, but we're expanding our curriculum and hiring new faculty as well. And I'm looking for that passion in those new faculty that would join us. I'm looking for that excitement. And I'm seeing it on their faces, knowing that this is the day that has arrived, the resurgence of a focus and interest in CTE. So welcome to a bright CTE future, and thank you for the opportunity to give you a few remarks this afternoon. I don't know if you have time for questions. I probably have to run across the street and ask Dean New if he could come and help me, but I can give you a vision for what we're hoping for the future of those. If you have broad questions, for the detailed questions, I'd have to ask our wonderful dean.
Any have questions? Are the renovations over there going to affect the AACT students that are sharing classroom space?
We're going to make sure that we don't disrupt anything that's going on right now. So that's going to be a real challenge. When you are renovating a facility, it's much worse, I think, than if you're starting from scratch. Oh my goodness. We are putting up a brand new building up on Mount Rose Highway. If you go up that way, you'll see the building coming up. And that is for Health Science Center. And for community college to be able to build a $10 million building, we're over the top excited with that. And there is no state money anymore, so it's just go out and find some money. So we wrote some grants and got some wonderful, wonderful donors in the community to realize for the first time that a community college is important. So what we're able to do there is put our vet tech program there, our portion of our CNA program will be there, our nursing program will now be co-located. It's at Dandini and it's also at the Redfield site. It will be together. And it's so much easier building that building than renovating that one across the street. So it's kind of like when you do a renovation adventure in your house and you start painting one wall, now you have to paint the next, and then you're in the next room, and then you find something else, and then it's kind of like that. It's expanded far more than what we thought it would be. So we put it into 2 phases, so you'll start to see the outside shell of the building will take a different look to it. We also have no student space. We want some dedicated student space so that the little work groups can get together. What employers are telling us is they want the soft skills, what you all are working on with your students. They say the same things. They've said the same thing for decades. They want students who are able to work in groups, that's how and problem solve together. They want workers that can show up on time, be dependable, all those things that we have to teach. That's what they're looking for. So we want those kind of spaces where students can get together and work on projects. And then the machining area will be expanded. We'll have more storage space, so that'll push out the space inside. And then we'll go into a phase 2 where we would like to have dedicated high school space.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.